There is a heated viral debate going on among Christians and secularists, and the question is, are secular marriages invalid and sinful? Here's the clip that's going around. I'm going to follow this up with a really good answer on this from Catholic priest Mike Schmidt, and then I'll finish with my thoughts on this, which might be somewhat controversial and ruffle some feathers. But it's a hard truth that our modern culture needs to understand about marriage.
Why should a secularist man get married? Give me one good reason.
Well, I think that having children is a very good and very important one.
Why should a secular man want children? Why would you want a secular man to have children?
Well, because I mean, aside from the general decline in birth rates, which I think is a
you want secularists to
one.
continue to reproduce? That seems like a good idea to you?
Yes, I think even if you are not Christian, you probably should have kids. We're at a point.
Is their marriage valid if it's a secularist marriage to begin with, Lauren?
Valid? No.
No. So then you're basically telling them to sin, right, Lauren? Aren't you telling them to sin by telling them to get a non-Christian marriage and have children? Aren't you telling them to sin, Lauren?
Okay, this is, yeah.
What's that? Yes? Yes, you're telling, so you're telling people to sin, Lauren? That's your prescription? The whole time you've been beating the holy hell out of the red pillars, and the entire time they've been right, and you've been telling them to sin, Lauren?
So hang on, let's
answer the question, Lauren.
I'm happy to admit where I'm wrong. This is not a problem for me. Let's talk about this. So, do you believe that it is sinful for a man to get married and have kids if he is not a Christian?
That's not marriage. Marriage is a sacrament between a man and a woman. That's within the purview of the Christian ethic. You have been running around with the rest of the tradcons telling men to sin, Lauren. Why are you doing that? Why? Now answer my question. Why are you doing that, Lauren?
Well, I think you're illustrating something, and again, you're getting upset with me here, but I'm happy to hear if I'm wrong, and we can talk about this. But I mean, it is true. I have argued for like a civil marriage, even within, if you're going to have kids as a man, even if you're not religious, cohabitation does not have the same outcomes as a civil marriage. That is true. There is still a difference between,
and it's all sinful, right, Lauren?
Yes, I think
then why are you advocating that people sin? Answer my question.
I guess I would. That's true. That's true. I guess my argument should be first for people to.
And now you know why I think you're a feminist, Lauren. Now you know.
There is a clear line for Christians to hold. We should not be advocating for people to get married outside of the church. It is sinful. It does not bear good fruit. Look at our culture and the state of marriage among those who get married outside of the church. Non-sacramental marriage, secular marriage, is destroying the institution of marriage. Interestingly, conservative Catholics are a group with one of the highest rates of marriage success. We put God first. It's sacramental, indissoluble. We have clear standards that define marriage, which are these.
So if you're Catholic, can you marry someone who's not Catholic? Yeah, you have to get married in the Catholic Church. If you don't get married in the Catholic Church, you need express permission from your bishop to be married according to another rite outside of the Catholic Church. If you do get married in the Catholic Church and you're the Catholic party, you're the Catholic spouse, you have to make what we call in our diocese a prenuptial declaration and promise. And that sounds intimidating. Basically, it's 3 parts. It says, I reaffirm my faith in Jesus Christ, and with God's help, I intend to continue living out that faith in the Catholic Church. So basically, I'm Catholic, I plan on being Catholic the rest of my life. Number 2 is, at the same time, I acknowledge the respect I owe to the conscience of my future partner in marriage. They don't believe what I believe, but I respect them and I honor them. Number 3 is, for my part, I will see to it that I do everything I can to have our children baptized and educated as Catholics. So again, 3 things. I'm Catholic, plan on being Catholic. I respect the future partner, my future spouse in marriage. 3rd, when it comes down to kids, where I stand is I want to have them baptized and educated as Catholics. That's not taking any responsibility or authority away from your spouse. It's just making it very clear that when it comes down to it, this is where I'm going to stand. This is what I want. The person who's willing to sign that and go through all the marriage prep and stuff like that, it is possible for a Catholic to marry a non-Catholic.
Marriage is a sacrament, a divine institution, meaning it must be done before God because it is how God made men and women to be. How can we operate effectively in this world disconnected from our source? Marriage outside of the church that God established on earth is not marriage. We have failed to hold the line and be clear about marriage in our modern culture, and this has made marriage identityless and has decreased its meaning. Those of us who know what it is must continue to hold the line and remain in the truth. I'm not saying this to be controversial. I'm saying this because I want people to know clearly what marriage is so that they might have one and have it successfully and experience all of the good, joy, meaning, and fulfillment that comes along with doing it right.